And now, the Kimmy Jimmel Show with your host, Kimmy Jimmel.
Hi, I'm Kimmy Jimmel, and this is my show. Now, today it's a very special edition of my show. We have a very special guest on. He came all the way up from Fort Repose, Florida, to come to our set. He was a hero after the nuclear warfare. He went around with his little humble car and his humble doctor supplies, and he gave health treatment to everyone in the town. He also became a big leader in the town. He was truly a real American hero. Everybody welcome Dr. Dan Gunn.
Pleasure to meet you.
You
Thanks
too,
for having
Dan.
me. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we don't have a chair. Ching, ching. Sorry for that minor incident. So Dan, you've been through a lot. What do you do before the day, as you call it, when the nuclear attacks came?
Well, I mean, life was going great. You know, just a local doctor, good house, good community. I mean, great friends. I don't know what else to say. Life was going good.
I feel you. I mean, I've got my own show. Anyway, so life is going good. How exactly do you find out of the day? I heard you were notified before.
Yeah, my best friend Randy, he actually notified me of it. At first I was a little,
Skeptical?
Yeah, skeptical. I mean, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, is Randy crazy? But I mean, I've known him for so long. I knew like, he couldn't be crazy.
Obviously, you are a doctor. You can tell those things. Or is that a psychologist? Never mind. I don't know. Document the days right after the attack. How was it like?
I mean, I don't know. I thought the contamination would hit us, but apparently when the bomb hit Jacksonville, winds were moving east, didn't get hit. We were one of the only towns in Florida that did get to survive. I felt lucky.
I would feel lucky too. Too. So, what do you guys use to get around?
We actually had a borrowed car from Risa. I mean, that was the only way we could get around town.
It was a pretty secret deal, huh? I mean, I heard it had lots of gas, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, because gas was very precious.
Yeah, gas was precious. I mean, we would do anything to get some oil or gas.
So, after the days, you know, you helped a lot of people out. What did you gain for that? You know, what did you gain?
I mean, they're my community. I had to help them out. No one else was there to help them out. I mean, what do I want? Everyone dead except for me? That wouldn't be too fun. I tried to help out as many people as I could. Radiation, contamination, sicknesses. I mean, the whole place was a mess.
I can understand. And during one of your helping trips, you got jumped by drug addicts?
Yeah, so, I was just driving back home from the office, and then suddenly I see 3 guys just approaching my car. Come in, kick me out, beat me, took my car, and all my supplies.
So, did you lose anything else?
Well, along to losing my car, I also lost my glasses. I had pretty bad eyesight, so it was kind of tough to see.
So the car, I understand it was very vital to powering the radio to get in touch with other towns, correct?
Yeah, correct. I mean, without it, kind of put us a step back, but...
So anyway, how was it like going up with the highwaymen?
I mean, the one time we did do it, we were successful, except for the fact that one of our great members got shot.
And that must have been very tough. I believe you didn't even... if the story was correct, I believe you couldn't find your materials, your doctor materials, or your glasses.
I couldn't, yeah.
So, how did you try to save one of your precious workers?
I mean, I did the best I could, tried anything I could find. Nothing worked.
You know, it was very difficult using just kitchen knives and, random vinegar and water just to try to perform surgery on a human being. It must have been very sad when you lost him. Right. So, how did you continue, to give people medical support?
Without my tools, obviously a lot more difficult, but I used anything I could. I tried makeshift items, kitchen knives, vinegar, anything I could find was good enough for me.
It must have been very tough, very, very brave of you to continue helping people, even after what happened to you with the highwaymen.
Yes. These are some of the items I used to help people during the nuclear war. So I have my gloves here. I've got shots, needles for injections. this to take apart stuff, vinegar and oil, and this thing. So you know, without these, there would be many people dying, because I was one of the only people to help people in the community, if the only one.
Yeah, these were like makeshift things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You use this maybe like as a scalpel or something?
Yeah, yeah.
And then, you know, cut things to, you know, inject.
Inject.
Well, it's a great way to use your resources.
Thank you.
Alright, I know you had a long day, obviously. Every day is long now at Fort Repose. Before I send you back there, I would like to ask you something. How was it like marrying your best friend's brother's wife?
Oh!
Silence, Ching!
Well, I mean, in the midst of all this mess, you know, me and Helen got to know each other better. We got closer to each other. And I mean, things just took off from there. Randy, we officially got married under Randy's government.
Yes, I can understand that. He slightly bent the rules to allow you to become married, which I believe was very nice of him. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And now, next on the Kimmy Jimmo Show, we have a very special guest who also helped in the rebuilding of Fort Repose. We have Randy Bragg. Before the nuclear war, he was just a normal citizen. But during it, he became a leading role in the rebuilding of Fort Repose. Everybody welcome Randy Bragg. Woo! 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 Thank you so much for coming on our show, Randy Bragg.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you.
Alright.
So, Randy, it's been a very long year for you. So much that's happened, so much that's changed your life. How was life before the whole nuclear war?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't that popular. I was a politician in the Deep South, and my view of black slaves was not as popular as it probably should have been. And
What was your view?
I believe that everyone was created equal, and, you know, that kind of made me less popular because I was in the South. And, well, mostly I was not a politician anymore. I was just living off of the land, like, of my, you know, parents and stuff. And, you know, one day my brother, who is in the, you know, army, he calls me and tells me that there's going to be a nuclear war, and he's bringing his wife and children.
Who's your brother?
Oh, Mark Bragg.
How did he know?
Well,
So what did Mark tell you about the war?
Well, what Mark did was he gave me a telegraph, and he said that, you know, the nuclear war was going to happen.
Did you believe him?
Well, it was kind of hard to believe, but, you know, he's my brother, and there were
already signs of a war coming.
Yeah, it was during the Cold War, and it was kind of almost expected. Looks like we need to rekindle the fire.
Okay, keep going.
It's getting a little chilly now. Alright, that's much, much better. So basically what happens was... Thank you. Bigger fire, I love it. So basically what happens was, you know, we made a deal. If he sent me a telegram with Alas Babylon on it, that meant, you know, the war is coming. And that's what happened.
A code?
Yeah, a code. And that's what happened, and so what happened was he sent his wife and children over right before the war started, and, you know, he gave me $5,000, you know, in a check. I cashed the check. I stocked up on all these supplies and, you know, gas.
Necessities like food, gas.
And then, you know, it hit, and we were pretty well prepared compared to some other people.
So Dan told me you were one of the only cities that survived in Florida, correct? In almost the whole U.S.
Yeah. It was very lucky. We got hit. The city surrounding us got hit.
So Jacksonville was hit, but somehow you guys weren't hit. And almost actually every other city in the U.S. was hit. Except you guys, basically.
Yeah, we were really lucky. The cities surrounding us, you know, the main cities got hit.
Like Jacksonville, Miami.
Yeah, but the wind blew in such a way that it blew the radiation away from our city. So somehow, by, you know, some incredible stroke of luck, we managed to survive without any, you know, radiation.
So how did the community, how should I say this? What was it like with just one city and limited supplies? What happened to everyone?
Well, I was not the only one that knew of the nuclear attack. I told a couple of my friends, you know, Dan Gunn, my now wife Lib, and the people across the street. I told some good friends, but
Did they believe you?
Well, Dan had trouble believing me, but he finally realized it could happen, and he got ready also. Liv's family was a little harder to convince. They didn't actually believe me until the attack started, and we had to work together, everyone.
Mhm. So I mean, was there theft going on? I mean, I can assume there was lots of theft.
Yeah, the hard part of it was when the attack started, money was useless then, because
There were no supplies.
there were no supplies. You could have all the money in the world, but you
It didn't mean
can't.
anything.
You can't eat paper. You can't. Car doesn't run on paper. So everyone was stealing everything, and like after 1 week during the day, there was nothing in any stores. And all people did was went to the town square, and they tried to bargain or trade their supplies.
Oh, so I mean, did you ever get anything stolen from you? I know Dan did.
Yeah, Dan got attacked. He got jumped and.
By the highwayman?
Yeah, by the highwayman, and we lost the car, his medical supplies, and then, his glasses. And without the car, we didn't have any gas, so we couldn't power the radio. And our radio was really, the only way we could get in touch with the outside world,
Yeah.
so we could know what was going on. So what we did is we tried to get it back, so we put up wanted posters, and this was the really first thing that really changed me, because I realized that
You could be a leader.
I could be a leader, and we really needed to take charge, because the longer we put it off, the more chaos would happen.
So I mean, how did you change from just a normal citizen to being a leader? I mean, that's one thing. What else?
The fireplace went out again.
That's fine.
All right. So the main thing that changed me was Dr. Dan Gunn getting jumped. It was really, really surprising. I almost couldn't believe it, because he was out on a call. Someone said that they were hurt, and that's his job. He's a doctor, but some people took advantage of him, and they took all his supplies. And without his medical supplies, we couldn't bring good health to the community. So that was on the top of the list. So that really changed me. I realized that we had to take charge.
So you went from being a normal citizen to being a leader. How did becoming a leader change you?
Well, it really changed me, because now I knew I could. I was a reserve officer. You can see from these badges, I was a reserve officer, and technically I'm part of like the army and stuff. The government.
So now you feel changed?
Yeah, I felt changed, because I'm part of the government, and I should be able to take control. And that's what I did, and we made a really good community.
Well,
I'm so happy.
Well, Randy, it's a great story. Thank you so much for being on my show, sir.